Hello, I'm Steve Mortensen, and with us today is author Michael D. Finley, who's recently written a book called The Tesla Conspiracy. Michael, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
Now, The Tesla Conspiracy is a very intriguing novel. Why did you write the book?
I wrote The Tesla Conspiracy because when I became familiar with Nikoli Tesla, particularly in the area of free energy, I got very angry that extremely important information has been withheld from us all. In 1931, Nikoli Tesla proved that a full-size electric car could be driven at speeds up to 90 miles per hour, daytime or nighttime, using free energy extracted from the air around us. We could be driving our cars for free instead of paying $4 or $5 a gallon for gasoline. But a small group of energy conglomerates are maintaining a monopoly on fuel and energy, and they're acting like criminal organizations to keep this information away from us all. I thought to myself, how could they do that to us? I've got to get this information out to the public. I wrote The Tesla Conspiracy as a fictional work because, let's face it, most people want to be entertained. In fact, I first wrote it as a screenplay, and things were looking very positive. We got a few well-known actors to agree to be in the film and some public figures. We were lining up investors, and then we ran into a conspiracy to stop the film. This is all documented on our website, theteslaconspiracy.com. The director had his mail interfered with. He was followed. I had my mail interfered with. I received untraceable death threats by voicemail and email. Our slate of investors stopped returning phone calls. They wouldn't respond to letters. And I pretty much spent a few years feeling very depressed about the project. I felt crushed. Then I decided to persevere and release the story as a book. I ran into renewed efforts to intimidate me and stop me from releasing the information to the public, but it's now available on paperback and as a Kindle ebook.
So why do you believe this information is so important?
People can't afford to pay $4 or $5 a gallon for gas. Every year, elderly people die from heat waves and cold spells when they can't afford to heat or cool their homes. Families struggle to provide for their children and to keep them cool in heat waves. A lot of scientists believe that global warming is caused by vehicle emissions and other pollution. We're talking about real free energy that's totally green. And somebody very powerful, possibly these big corporations that have a monopoly on our fuel and energy, have been trying to keep this information away from the public. People have been intimidated, thwarted, and even killed to suppress this technology. If this technology had not been suppressed, then we'd all be driving our cars and running our homes without having to pay for fuel or electricity. That would save every family thousands of dollars every year. This is really important for our planet, for our economy, for our families to survive. This information has got to get out there. The more people that read this book, the more this information gets out there, the more these terrorist companies fail.
Now, there's a lot of history in the book, and there are some fairly detailed theories as well. Is this technically a fictional story?
Well, maybe we need a new category for this book. The history referenced in the book is real. Nikoli Tesla was a real person. There are documentable historical conspiracies to keep information about Nikoli Tesla away from the general public. The story is fictional, but it's really a vehicle for expressing the historical truths and theories.
Now, what evidence is there of actual historical conspiracies?
Those who know Nikoli Tesla call him the man who invented the 20th century, and for good reason. He was directly responsible for most of the technological advances in the 20th century. He held hundreds of patents, and yet he's not mentioned in American textbooks. In fact, the United States Supreme Court ruled in 1943 that Tesla was the real inventor of the radio. Yet every history book I've ever read still lists Marconi as the radio's inventor. There's not even a footnote about Nikola Tesla. That's not just failing to mention Tesla, that is putting false information in textbooks. And I believe there are reasons why the powers that be would want to conceal this information from the public. In the book, my theories tie all of this together and explain it.
So what is it that you hope your readers take from this novel?
Well, first and foremost, I want people to know the truth about this technology. I want people to open their minds. I want them to test my theories. I'm hoping that people will become more curious about Nikola Tesla and read other books about him, maybe some internet articles, maybe watch a documentary or two. But most of all, I want them to enjoy the book. I want them to be fascinated with the mystery as it unfolds. I want them to have trouble putting the book down as it builds into a tense thriller. At the end, I'm hoping people will be as angry as I am that extremely important information and technology has been withheld from the American public.
So where can people get a hold of a copy of The Tesla Conspiracy?
On the website that I mentioned earlier, theteslaconspiracy.com, we document the efforts that have been made to keep us from getting this information out to the public. There are links to buy the book as a paperback or as a Kindle ebook. And we keep adding more information about Tesla, and so people can check back at theteslaconspiracy.com and get updates about what's going on with the book, with our efforts to turn it into a movie, and to just learn more about Nikola Tesla.
Well, Mike, Nikola Tesla was a fascinating man, and you've written a fascinating book. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Steve.